Okay, so part 2, where we set the scale and look at the data that you collected earlier with the slime cube and going from Reagan to Hamilton. Okay, so first of all, let's look at the graph paper. Now, I have already counted that we have 25 squares this way, or 25, this is 1 centimeter, so 25 centimeters, and then that we have 19, I'll just write it out here, 19 centimeters that way. Now, to figure out how to scale this, we are going, let's look at what you have. So in the red direction, what I would go ahead and do is look at which way's longer, which way's shorter. Obviously, the red direction, you've got more, so I'd set the paper regularly, I guess you would say, where it's up and down, to where the red is oriented with the long side of the paper with the 25, and the blue is oriented with the 19. So anyway, so we have, let's go ahead and look at the x. So x is, and this is just my science notebook over here, just making notes in it. X is, let's look, it's all in the negative direction. So we have 7. I don't even really need this here anymore. I just kept it here for reference. We've got 7 slimes, but it's negative 7 slimes. Negative 7 slimes. Okay. And then if you look, I have negative 5. They're not gonna, I don't have negative and positive. They're all in the same direction. Negative 5 slimes. Okay, and that's going to give me a total of my x displacement of negative 12 slimes. Okay, definitely needs to go along the 19. And I might be able to do 1 for 1. That would be nice. 1 centimeter to 1 slime, but let's see what the red does, or your y. Okay, so let's look at your y. That is, well, first we start off with 3. So you've got positive. You don't have to write the positive. I'm just doing that to be clear. Positive 3 slimes. Okay, and then, oh, wow, it's a lot. Positive 27 slimes. And then barely up there you have 1, positive 1 slime going into Hamilton. Positive 1 slime. Okay, and that's actually going to give us, oh man, 31 slimes. Okay, that's a problem because we got 25. Well, first instinct, let's, how about we do, what have you got more of? You got more slimes, so let's think about that. How about we do 2 slimes for 1 cube? So if we have like one of these guys here, actually, certain green, so like one of these would be 2 slimes. Let's see, so what would that give you? How would I handle that? It would be 31, and then, well, I'd need to divide it in 2 because we're doing 2 per thing over there. So 31, so that's going to equal 15 and a half. Okay, 15 and a half will fit. It might not be huge, but it'll be good enough because you still have to get your frame of reference and things like that on here. So that's good. I'm okay with that. It could have been much worse. I don't want to do that. Okay. Get rid of some of those. Okay, so we're going to go with the 15. All right, well, let's look at, first let's get some things set up. All right, let's do the first a title, always. It can be really simple on this. This is just data. This is just what you actually collected. Okay. And so we can set it as north and south. All right. And east and west. That's great. That's, you've got 2 major things right there. Okay, now let's set your scale. Now, since we are dealing with centimeters, we want to use, that's metric, you want to use decimals instead of fractions. Usually fractions are better with calculations, but when you're actually doing measurements in metric, you need to do them as decimals. So we're going to say 1 slime, or actually let's go with what's on the paper. So that would be 0.5 centimeters. This is what's actually on your page. 0.5 centimeters is going to be equal to 1 slime. I know I told you you wanted to get the units correct. That's what you're going to want to do on your, or there seems to be some confusion about that. That's going to be really what you want to do on your data analysis. But for right now, I'll take 0.5 centimeter to 1 slime. Or if you wanted to think about it another way, you could do 1 centimeter to 2 slimes. Either way works. Either way is correct. So anyway, what I'm going to do now is let's go ahead. We started here. We'll put R H S. Okay. That'd be like the restrooms for you guys. We'll start right there. Now, you are going to need a ruler for this. Wait, I think I have a little bit better. Let me see if I can get straight lines going in this. Let's look first. So this is going to be I'm going to stretch that line. Oops. Let's see, what would that be? That's 3. So we would actually have about 1. Oh, I apologize. Let's do this. Okay, first let's just look at this. We have 3 slimes. Okay, we know that 2 slimes fit on 1 square, so we can just divide 3 by 2. And that's going to give you 1 and 1/2, which is 1, just basically 1.5 or 1.5. So let's see if I can get this. Let's see if I can use this arrow. Let's see. To 1.5. About 1.5 right there. I'm going to make that an arrow. Now, here's the great part. Since I've set the scale, I do not have to put anything on here. I mean, if you did, that's fine. Just, make sure. I would probably leave it off. If you've done that, it's okay, but I would probably leave that off. Okay, so now let's look at the second part of this. All right, we're going to go 7 slimes. So, erase those. And then we're going to go 7, again divided by 2, and that's going to give you 3.5 squares, 3.5 squares. Arrow, so we're going to go 3.5, so it's going to be 3.5, roughly there. Again, please use a ruler. The program I'm using, not so great with the straight lines, but you get the idea. So we got 3.5 that way. All right, so anyway, now I'm going to switch back to the red, and we got 27. I'll just do that over here. We got 27. This is just like scratch work. 27 over 2. This could be 13.5. 13.5. So we know that that's a half right there. That's nice. So I'm going to just putting a dot. And so I'm going to take this. This is not going to be, it's going to be about the middle, which I don't love, but two. So we've got 1, 2, 4, 6, 12, 13. I think that is at 13 right there. Let's double check. That's your half. 1, 2, 13. Perfect. Okay, so we got 13 right there. And put the arrow. Okay, so now, good, we're right on the line again, and you're going 5. So that is going to be, switch back to blue. Okay. 5 divided by 2, so you got 2.5. Sorry, all the scratch work here. That's what scratch paper's for. Okay, so 2.5. So we got your 1/2 here. And 1, 2, so you're going to about there. All right. Not about there, exactly there. Oh, it is actually narrow. So you got your 5 right there. And then you have your very last one, which is 1. It is actually just 1 square up. Or 1. Wait, no, it's not. It's 1, so it would be 1/2. That's a little bit bigger than it needs to be, but there you go. That's what your data should look like. Let's put that we ended up at Hamilton. H-M-S. Okay, so basically, and that should be your school, and this should be the restrooms. All right, so just to recap, let's see, I will do this in green. What we were looking for is data. Your name needs to be on here too, just letting you know. Frame of reference, scale, where you started, which should be the restrooms, where you finished, which would be your college. No triangles, no measurements. You can put either your scale measurement or what actually is. Just make sure you include the units so we know what it is. So if you either say centimeters or slime, you are fine as long as you measure correctly. If you didn't do that, if you didn't put any measurements here, as long as you have your scale. So you have that. But if you did put, like, 7 slimes or 3.5 centimeters, don't do halves for the centimeters, then you're fine if you did that. But if you're also okay if you didn't. So that is what you do for, that's the one that you need to hand in for data. It's really easy.